All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. My name is Dave, and may the 4th be with you. Got my good friend back with us again, researcher Jame Roguski, who has been on with me a couple of times now, and his videos have been very informative. James, how are you today?
I'm doing great, David. Thank you for having me back. I'm wearing my activist hat today.
All right. I don't see a hat on. Was that what I was supposed to say? Where's your hat?
I should get one that says activist, but no, ideally what we get to do is answer the question that a lot of people have, which is, wow, this is, really scary information. It's essentially, I've uncovered what I think is a founding document of the Great Reset. And in summary, the amendments to the international health regulations are resetting the sovereignty of the world, whereby 194 nations are going to just go to Geneva at the end of May and hand over their sovereignty and turn the Director General of the World Health Organization into the Dictator General of the world. And he's actually being reelected unopposed. He's being coronated, put up on the throne with complete dictatorial powers, which is what the Romans would call the person who took charge during an emergency. And so by definition, you can't have dictatorship unless you have emergency. And so in Roman times, when there was an emergency, they'd put somebody in charge, give them complete power, but then they'd back off and go home when it was over. What they're doing now is attempting to give the Dictator General of the World Hypnosis Organization absolute, complete, and total control over declaring emergencies at their whim. Mm-hmm. And all that information's on my other articles. Hopefully with this, it is the 4th of May, and the running gag is, may the 4th be with you. Mm-hmm. People ask me, well, what do I do?
Right.
Well, that's what we're here to talk about. And I guess I'll share my screen here. Job number 1 is sound the alarm. Mm-hmm. All right, David, your viewers did a great job with the first things that we did. They shared the video. If you could tell me a little bit about what you saw with the analytics on what happened with the previous video.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had a lot of interest from around the globe rather than just here in North America, which I think is probably what you really were after, because this isn't just U.S. sovereignty. This is how many? It's like 193 countries. Do I have that right?
The U.S. plus 193 for a total of 194.
Okay.
And so job number 1 is to spread this around the world. You've got me up at 6 in the morning to do your show because you're on the East Coast. But I've been up at 2, 3, 4 in the morning with people in most recently Uganda and Singapore and Malaysia and Europe and Ecuador. So the word is getting out. The first video we did, I got it back within a day from somebody in Ecuador who translated it into Spanish or transcribed it into Spanish. Wow. And job number 1, people, is sound the alarm. Take this video as soon as you watch it and just share the link. So this is my answer to everyone's question, which is, what do I do? Okay, step number 1 is get informed. I know this is a brain bender, and I'm an info guy, but just go to don'tyoudare.info. Hopefully y'all can see what I'm pointing to with my cursor there.
Right.
But this page right here is an activist toolbox. It's on my jamesroguski.substack blog. You click on sound the alarm. And this is an activist toolbox. So when people say, what can I do? Well, the answer is, what the hell are you gonna do? Right?
Yeah.
And now everybody has a different something. Some people are keyboard warriors. Some people are paint the protest sign and go march warriors. Some people are go on alternative media. I get this all the time, David, and people say, oh, you ought to go on Joe Rogan. I go, I don't need to go on Joe Rogan. I'm on David's podcast. The point is, Joe Rogan is Joe Rogan because people shared Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan grew because, people spread the word. And too much information, holy crap, he goes for 3 hours. We're going to do maybe 10 or 11 minutes.
Right.
the power, if you could just tell me what you think the fourth be with you means, what does that mean to you?
Well, I mean, the force, what you're implying, if I'm getting this correctly here, is the force is actually with us if we decide to take action. The force is not with these global entities, the WHO, and pretty much any of these World Health Organizations, quote unquote, that are looking out for our best interests, which we all know that there are some serious problems with the way they've been doing things, but we won't go into that, James, because we want to keep this video from
Okay,
not being.
so I'm gonna blow through this. Here's some of the things that you can do, right? And if you're concerned about the issue and you've informed yourself about it from the previous videos, you can always call me, right? Now, I'm not the king of the world. I don't decide everything, but I can help you, give you some guidance, have a conversation on a human level. What do you want to do? Do you want to send text messages? Do you want to send emails? Do you want to just, post all these videos? Contact every media outlet on the planet. Call Joe Rogan. If Joe Rogan calls me, you damn well better believe I'll go on his podcast. When David or anybody else calls me, I'm there. Make some phone calls, call everybody, share the videos, share the articles. All of this is collected on this toolbox page. We even have the ability where you can make your own graphic. So all I really want to do is show people that the tools are right here. Now, there's going to be worldwide protests on, I know I have the 20th here because people need to get to Geneva early, but on the weekend of May 21st and the 22nd, hopefully there's going to be a big old protest in Geneva, but don't wait until then. There's tons of stuff to do, and there's going to be things all around the world. And these are going to be peaceful protests. This is about, bringing the right spirit. They want us fighting. This is about bringing people together.
Correct.
Okay, but spreading the word. We have a template that you can take this image. If you click on it, hopefully this works for me. It becomes a separate page, and then you can just drag and drop it where, put it on your desktop. Okay. So the images on Substack are a little bit weird. You can't click on this and drag it. You got to click on it once,
right?
And then you can drag it.
Okay.
But this is tweetable.
Yes.
This is something you can put on Facebook for the social media warriors. And there's a text version here that you can just copy and cut and paste and send it to whoever the heck you want to send it to. Correct. The idea is nobody knows. This was meant to be a secret. Don't keep it a secret. I'm gonna go all the way back up to the top. Sound the alarm. Okay. Right. Let everybody know that this is happening. And so, David, you've been great. We got started. What was this? April 19th was the first video. So, early on.
Patriots Day. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. And so people have shared that video. Then we did a shorter video. I got the date wrong on that. I got to fix that.
It's okay.
And so there are many, many, many videos. Okay.
Yeah. The one with David Knight. It's terrific.
So I'm on David Knight. The Fringe. I don't know if you've watched this. Okay.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh man, that's just, to me, that is watch that one. I'm just gonna say that the guy called me out of the blue about this time of day. He actually texted me. I called him back 5 minutes later. Boom, I'm in his studio. He teaches people how to weld, and I'm in his welding shop, or he's in his welding shop. And 15 minutes later, we got a video up. Talk about appealing to middle America and the common working man. And so there's video after video after video after video after video. Watch one of these videos. Sarah Westall did. Watch the video. You'll learn something, and then share the video everywhere. That's all we're asking. Just spread the word. Just there's 20 plus. I think we're getting close to 30 videos. Okay, good old Alex Jones. Good old Alex Jones. American Journal. Owen Schroyer, Alex Jones. They've gotten a clue. Okay, they've gotten a clue, and I think he's going to do a bigger show. But any of these videos, just share them on the platforms that you share platforms on. Right. Then there's articles. Don't share the freaking New York Times propaganda crap. These are articles written, specifically on this topic. Now, here's where we get a little bit creative, and I know people are very creative. I have, you don't necessarily want to look at my ugly mug.
Yeah.
Okay. But
right.
realize, I had a good friend, Jane. Thank you, Jane. Shout out to Jane.
Yeah.
This white area here is the transparency. And
Mhm.
so I just took my ugly mug, put it down in a simple, word program. You drop this image over your face and you put in whatever text you want and say whatever the hell it is you want to say.
Right. Right.
Okay. This image right here it's really the briefest summary. This has been translated into 8 or 9 or 10 different languages, right? I have a page on my Substack where for around the world, because this is a worldwide issue. Handful of graphics that you can share with people, and this one is one of my favorites. I said it earlier. Dictatorship is when a single person is put and given ultimate authority during an emergency. Well, somewhere along the line, these jokers figured out that you could be a permanent dictator if you could have a permanent emergency. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not feeling scared these days.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm concerned that they're doing crazy crap, but I don't have that, it's not panic like, zombie apocalypse and you're running away from the people that are trying to eat your brain.
Correct.
I mean, there's that going on. Okay. And I'm a little concerned about it, but please realize that what these amendments are doing is giving the power to the dictator general to declare emergencies at a whim. And that is the dictionary definition of a dictatorship.
Correct.
So that's what we're headed for.
Yeah.
I'm almost at the bottom of the page. If you're creative and you want to have some humor, do you know who your delegate is to the WHO? Right? I don't care who you call, I don't care who you talk to.
Yeah.
Just be upset that you don't know who is representing you at the WHO at the end of May. Now, I have a good guess. It's probably going to be Javier Becerra and Lois Pace and somebody else. Yeah. But around the world, nobody knows. And the gist of this is it's a temporary crisis, but they're trying to grab power permanently. And so I did a little small talk at a group. It's a freedom-loving group that meets in the park in Pasadena every Sunday. They invited me to talk. So, I put together a little flyer. You can download this, print it out. And so if you're a real world kind of person, you like to press the flesh kind of thing, download that, print it out, cut it in half and pass it out. It says everything. People, before I gave a talk, they knew what I was going to talk about. They had a basic understanding. These are templates for emails. We've written them for you. You just got to copy and send them. And by all means, please send them to our alternative media people who are dropping the ball on this. They're not talking about it. This is your third show, and there's people that I've told about this who have yet to even discuss it. Okay. And so, all right, we're down at the bottom. Plenty of things that you can do. It basically is our public servants are not our leaders. We, the people, have to be the leaders.
Correct.
And they need to follow us. But there's a saying that you might be familiar with, and I have adopted it in my life. Lead with love.
Yeah.
Right? and it's a very good concept. I absolutely feel that way. I think everyone should assume that everyone else is unaware of this. And if you're there's a difference. See, here's where people don't get it. Ignorance is no excuse, but ignorance it's not the same as being unaware. If you're unaware of something, no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
Right. You had no way of knowing.
Right.
But ignorance means you know about it, but you choose to ignore it.
Right.
Okay. And so if you've watched this video, you are now aware. Right. If you choose to ignore it, then you're ignorant. Doesn't mean you're stupid. It means you choose to sit on your ass and do nothing. And I can't tell you how many people I've just been blessed. People think I'm crazy for giving out my phone number. 310-619-3055. I have been called by some of the most wonderful people on the planet,
Right.
all around the world. I mean, WhatsApp, Signal, Telegram, Skype, whatever the hell you got.
Yeah.
James Roguski, Roguski on Skype. But everywhere else, it's just my phone number, 310-619-3055. Everyone asks, everyone who is not ignorant, everyone who, and that doesn't mean stupid, okay?
Yeah, I know.
It means you're ignoring. Once they become aware of this, most, good patriotic Americans who are, want to defend their Constitution and the rights that it protects, say, what do I do? What can I do?
Right.
Well, it's really freaking easy. Just take this video and share the crap out of it.
Yeah.
Right. And don't just like, oh, I shared it. I in the past, not with this, but in the past, I've sent it to, things to people, and I go, oh, could you please share this? Right.
Sure.
And 10 seconds later, oh, done.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's not just hit the share button. It's like, go sit in your comfy chair, get a cup of coffee or a beer or a glass of wine or a glass of water or orange juice or whatever, and sit there and, okay, Abigail, Annie, Aretha, Bobby, Billy, David, Jim,
right.
Go through your whole freaking list and just
Yeah.
go, any one of these videos, this video and any one that you like, there's more than 24 to pick from.
Yeah.
Just go down the whole list, text it to everybody then hit your email list, and don't skip anybody, and don't say anything other than, hey, did you hear about this? Did you get the memo?
Right.
I just want to give you the memo about this. Could you spread the word? And if this can't go viral and be more trending than Will Smith smacking Chris Rock, if the destruction of our sovereignty and the destruction of 194 nations giving their sovereignty over to a corrupt corporation that wants to be dictator of the world, if we can't get that trending, hashtag don't you dare, right? Well, then we deserve what we get.
Yeah.
So this is my answer to, what do I do? Just spread the word at this point, because people need to know before anything. And everybody's going to be watching the live stream of the World Health Organization's normally, super boring assembly. If I'm watching and you're watching come the end of May, well, they're not going to give a crap. But if a couple of billion people have their eye on what's going on, maybe that'll change something. And there's a different situation in terms of legal action between now and when they vote. And then as soon as they vote, there's different legal action, whether they do it, up or down, it doesn't matter. So there's legal things happening. It's complicated, but it's also simple. Just sound the alarm, people. The Constitution, the Bill of Rights is being torched.
Yeah. Well, there is this concept of being a force multiplier. I heard this on a different show, so I'm just letting people know. I think this is what you need to do, where if you have 11,000 people viewing the video, and I'm hoping that more people will view this video, then, if half of those people take action and then do what you suggest and not just, send it to one of your friends or something like that. You really need to get this out on all the social media platforms and take a chance. Take a chance with Twitter, take a chance with Facebook, take a chance with everything, because this is our sovereignty. And once this genie gets out of the bottle, James, I don't know how you get it back in there.
There's a process, and that's in some of the other videos. We won't go into that here, but essentially, the documents that are on the WHO website that I simply read, right? I realized that they didn't put it in the title, but it's the founding document of the Great Reset. And they're going to vote to enact it at the end of May, unless you all sound the alarm, spread the word, learn as much as you need to learn to realize that, we're not talking smack here. This is the real deal. We can stop this if we, the people, work together and say, look, you're not the boss of us. You're not, our leaders. You don't tell us what to do. You work for us. You do what we tell you to do. Correct. And, when it's just one person saying that, whatever, give me some money and I'll do what you want. Right. But when it's a couple of 100 million people in a country like the United States, or
Mhm.
you know, if 250,000 people show up in Geneva, you know, they're going to think twice about what they're doing, because the people are awake, aware, and not ignoring this. They're taking positive action. And, you know, it's a funny joke, but may the 4th be with you. But the power is in the power of the people. They
Yeah.
just have to realize it and
Right.
wake up and take action.
Well, today's you know, a really good day, being that it's the 4th of May, and people will maybe put those two concepts together. It's why we're putting the video out today. But really, James, this is a call to action. This isn't a call to passivity. This isn't a call to entertainment. You know, James isn't on here to be your entertainer. He's here to provide information. Some of it is tedious, and you have to really look through this. But I think a bell goes off at some point, James, and you're like, oh my, this is real bad stuff that they are doing. And they've been doing this stuff really for at least a couple of years. And we can always trace this back to a certain person who was in the White House. And we don't want to go down that road in this video, but I'm seeing things now at such a rapid, exponential pace, and it's hard to keep up with. So I think what we need to do is grab this information, rein it in, and then again, make sure your friends, your family, people you don't like, people you don't know, as many people as you can share this information with, James. I think that is really your goal and my goal here for having you on the channel again today.
If you don't take charge and help stop this, tomorrow may be the last Cinco de Mayo you get to enjoy your freedom.
Yeah.
So have a good time tomorrow. But while you're there, print out one of the flyers and, you know, go to a bar and celebrate Cinco de Mayo, and pass out flyers and talk to people about this. If this doesn't trend in the next 3 weeks, the war is not over, but it's going to be significantly more difficult. And so thanks, David, for, you know, having me on here.
You bet.
And to your audience, sound the alarm.
Yeah. And may the 4th be with you, James.
Thank you.
All right. See you soon.